Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12. We made it to a dozen of the Curiosity Cache. How is everybody today?
Good.
Pretty
Nice.
good.
Decim is there.
Hey.
He's just experiencing the wonders of the internet today. So, when we
COVID.
left our adventurers 2 weeks ago, you had been shrunk down to maybe only a couple of inches tall, and a very large harlequin with big shoes was stomping his way towards you. What do you do?
Is running an option?
You could try
Get
to
a
run,
sudden fear of clowns.
if you didn't have a fear of clowns before, you probably do now.
I have a very important question.
Yeah.
Are they leather shoes or cloth shoes?
Oh, that's a good question. We'll do a roll for that. Odd
Okay.
will be leather.
Okay.
They're cloth.
Oh, cool. Yes. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm going to scream in my tiny orc voice, and run towards him to stab him with my tiny sword in the foot,
Okay.
and actually try to latch myself onto it as I stab him. So
you're
I'm
trying to
on
stab it
the
like
top,
upward.
on the top. Yep, on the top of his foot.
Okay, so you're trying to essentially get onto his shoe.
Yes.
Interesting,
So he doesn't
nice.
squish me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack, and while you're doing that, what is everyone else doing?
I drink a potion.
Just a random potion?
Well, I don't know what they are,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
got a bunch of them. I'm going to drink one.
Nice.
This may be the last time I get to drink one, and I'm going to do it right now.
Roll a d10 for me.
Here we go.
All right. D10. 2.
2. Okay, I'll come back to you. Bracco, what are you doing?
Does it seem like there is any logical place nearby where I could run and hide in just about anything? I'm teeny tiny.
Yeah, make a perception check. Excellent. 15. All right, so Braca, you do notice that over by the fun house, the ramp that goes up into the fun house is kind of built up on these little poles that are just they're just tree trunks that have been shaved down, and essentially that whole under area seems to be hollow. That seems like a good place because the harlequin wouldn't fit under there.
Oh, also, if there's ramps kind of going up, does that mean that it'd also be possible to be, okay, coast is clear, I'm going to start ducking out afterwards, run up, and have a place to try jump on the harlequin as it goes by?
Gotcha.
Like a later plan?
Potentially, the ramp doesn't seem super elevated, so it's not like you would be able to jump on his head or something like that. But yeah, you could jump on its pants rather than on its shoe.
Oh, that's what I'm going for.
Okay, Captain.
I'm gonna try to charm person this big fella.
Gotcha. What is your DC?
13.
Okay.
It's a wisdom save.
So from there, we're gonna wrap back around. Pracha,
Yes.
you got a
That's
7. Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Do a dex save.
Okay. Dex. Saving throw.
Uh-oh. All right, so you run and essentially you try and time it so that as the harlequin's shoe is down, you're going to jump up and try and stab into.
Yeah.
And as you do, your timing was just really off.
Mhm.
And the shoe lands and you you think it's going to be there longer than you expect it to be, and so as you jump, it lifts up, and you're just like whoa, and you just smash into the ground. You are prone.
Okay.
Decim, you reach in and you like just jingle around a bunch of bottles, and you pull one out, and you pull this cork out with your teeth, and you quickly guzzle it down. Nothing seems to happen.
Well, that is not my normal experience with weirdly colored liquids.
Yeah.
I will do another one, question mark? Yes, I will do another one.
Sure. Roll a d10 for me.
9. Number 9.
Excellent. We'll come back to you. Braca. So you start running towards this ramp. Excuse me. It's a little ways away because you are so tiny, but you feel like you can you reach. Oh, the noises! It's the funhouse music. You can reach the ramp, but as far as like climbing up onto it to try and jump onto, that won't be this turn. But make a perception check. Excellent. As you run up to it, you notice that there are a couple of people that are your size that are also hiding under this ramp. One is what he looks like, a kind of a burly guy. He's wearing a thick apron. And then there's a younger man with him that seems much smaller than he is. Not in the way that you are all shrunk, but he is a more diminutive shaped person. And he is he's just wearing like common clothes. Like there's not anything that really delineates anything about him that's his profession. But you get the feeling the other guy is probably a blacksmith, and he has that blacksmith apron on.
All right, so Braca is booking in, and he starts to. What's going on? Why am I so small?
Shh! Don't get its attention. Don't bring it over here. You just go quiet.
and then the light bulb goes on, and Braca goes completely quiet.
Okay. Captain, so you cast your spell. You're pretty sure it goes off, but nothing happens. You feel like the magic didn't work because the target can't be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that away from your spell list, though. Like you still have access to that magic. It didn't work, and that's why.
Do I get the feeling that a half of the spell name was irrelevant to this target? Let's say the person part.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think I'm going to follow Braca. I'm like, well, this didn't work. We're going in that direction.
Gotcha. So Pracha, you're like laying on the ground. This giant foot smashes down just behind you. More in the way that it looked like it just stepped over you as opposed to it's trying to like stomp on you.
Okay.
But you did get the feeling when you saw the Harlequin initially, it was trying to step on you guys. So it probably didn't notice you try and jump on it. What do you want to do?
Well, he stepped over me at this point.
Yeah.
What is behind him? Like, where did he come from?
Oh, so he's the one who came out of the fun house and like came charging down the ramp.
Cool.
Right after you guys shrunk.
Okay. Is there like a space under the ramp?
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And you probably, at least out of the corner of your eye, saw Braca run that direction. You don't see him now, so he either made it or is stuck to the bottom of the Harlequin shoe. Who knows?
Cool. Actually, what's Decim? Is Decim in the line of fire right now as well still, or?
Yeah, Decim hasn't really moved. It's a very familiar expression on his face. that kind of wide mouth possum sort of look. He's
Okay.
also staring at an empty bottle, and he looks confused.
And Pracha, you do notice, like, as he brings the bottle away from his mouth, some smoke starts like curling out of his mouth.
Of course it does. I'm gonna go towards Decim to try to get him to come with me and get out of the way of the killer clown shoes.
Okay. So, in order to do so, you feel like you probably need to dodge through the Harlequin's feet. Go ahead and do another dex save.
Okay. All right.
Or if it would be better, you could do an athletics check.
I will do an athletics check
Sure.
all day long.
Hey.
Better than before,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're slowly building up.
I'm just warming up.
So you like dodge and you're like running in between, and the Harlequin. Everyone else can see this. You don't see it so much because you're like running towards Decim. But the Harlequin looks down and definitely sees you and starts like stomping the ground around you. So like everything's like shaking, and you manage to like dodge out of the way, but you feel like once you reach Decim, you're both now in the stomping area.
Okay.
So, Decim, smoke starts curling out of your mouth, and you feel this like heat building in your belly, and like it just is like working its way up your esophagus and your throat, and there's this like as your nose twitches, like little gouts of fire kind of spurt out.
Oh, well, that's a novel thing, and he is going to try and fight the exit of this potion that he just drank, because you don't want to waste a good thing just at the very beginning of enjoying it, but probably is not going to be successful, as he also sees Pracha running, so he's going to belch, kind of as a reaction.
Okay. In what direction are you belching?
Not at Pracha. So I guess up.
Up? Okay. So, Pracha, as you run up, Decim just kind of tilts his head back and burps, and this gout of flame comes pouring out.
Decim is shocked, but looks like super pleased at the same time.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do action-wise?
Run.
Okay.
Yeah, run. She's running, I'm running, we're going to run.
Are you running away? So, Pracha's running towards you, which was technically away from the ramp. Are you two going to run elsewhere than back towards the ramp, or what's your destination?
Is there another... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just going to run in the direction she's running, because that seems to be the direction we're supposed to go.
Yeah. So that's away from the ramp and away from the Harlequin. Although it seems like this Harlequin is able to keep up with you pretty well. In fact, it's going to be a bit of a dance to get to, and as you're running away from it, you do see that there is like a small, well, to you it's now large, but there is a like a food booth that's set up, and so you could like run under the planks of that and try and hide. Both you and Pracha make dex saves.
14?
14. And you're going to add 1 to that Decim for a 15. Oh no! Pracha. So Decim, you turn to run away from the Harlequin, and behind you you hear this crashing noise and maybe a little eep.
Definitely an Eve. Yeah.
Do you
Oh, yeah.
do anything?
I spin around to point at where we're supposed to be going to let them know that this is how you squeeze properly. Squeezing is next to not dying. And where's Pracha?
You don't see her, but there is a large shoe where she was just a moment ago.
Oh no. Oh, going to let out a very loud, bellowing, priestly cry, something along the lines of "You shall bathe in the holy light of justice." And run towards it.
Fair enough. Okay. So Braca, outside of the ramp, you can definitely see all of this going down. Meanwhile, there are the two guys that were hiding under there already. What would you like to do?
How far away from me are them?
You feel like it would take your full turn to get to them.
Yeah. You, Are there any little flecks of dust or anything which our size would be like tiny rocks?
You definitely see like little pebbles, like little bits of sand and stuff like that. That to you are good sized chunks.
Yeah, I'm thinking grabbing a handful of these and is there anything that seems within throwing range where I could throw it at them and it would make a very loud sound? Be a distraction. Any gongs?
Let's do high or low.
High.
Yeah, oddly enough, over like kind of nearby, you notice that there is a huge sign that's so large right now you can't really read what it says, but there is like a gong hanging down from it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make a loud run towards them to help get them out, or at least move a little towards them, but also go wham and
Okay.
try and hit the gong.
Sure, go ahead and just roll an attack.
I assume because not. Let's see. Would this be a strength-based attack, or would this be more a dex-based attack like a dagger?
Let's do a dex base.
All right, so I'll just roll my dagger.
Sure. Whoo. All right, so you wing it, and this little, pebble goes flying through the air, and you do. It sounds like pretty loud to you too. It's like this shimmering gong sound that rises through the air. You notice the Harlequin kind of glances that way, but isn't too concerned about it. However, it might be just enough distraction for you. Captain, what are you doing? So essentially, you were running that way. Baraka just ran back out and threw a rock at that gong.
Here's a DM question. Mage Hand, is that like a static size? Like you summon a Mage Hand, it's always this size, or is it like based on the size of the caster?
I would say it's probably always the same size.
Excellent. Okay, this is what we're gonna do because I have Mage Hand, and so I want to summon a Mage Hand, and this Mage Hand, while it can attack, can like, Three Stooges try to annoy this guy while we try to not be in his stomping vicinity. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna try that one.
What's your spell save DC?
13.
13.
Yeah.
So your Mage Hand appears and it like points its two fingers out and tries to eye gouge the Harlequin, who just takes it full on in the eyes. Like it was not seeing that whatsoever. And that's it. Was it 5 or 10 pounds of pressure that it can?
I think it's 10.
10. So yeah, 10
Yeah.
pounds of pressure to the eyes.
Okay.
That's not comfortable whatsoever. So yeah,
wanna-
it stops and it's like, oh.
Okay, and then I know Braca is now coming back out. Where is everyone else? Like take stuff.
So you don't see Pracha.
I don't see Prasha.
Decim is running in your direction, back towards the Harlequin. Braca
Right.
is running past you out towards the Harlequin, probably towards everyone else, but yeah, you don't see Pracha. You do see because you got close enough, you do see a couple of people under the ramp, but you can't really make them out from where you are.
Okay. So I don't know those people. So we're going. I guess we're following the group and going back to the Harlequin.
Okay. So you turn around, head back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything else?
No, just keep the mage hand going as long as possible. Like run distraction. It is way bigger than us. Maybe it'll try to stomp the mage hand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's see. Back to Pracha. So Pracha, you don't
So am I
feel.
squished?
Yeah, you don't feel pain in the way that you're used to it, but you feel very odd all of a sudden.
Okay.
And it's very dark, and you can't move. There's like this weird movement over you. It feels like something's pushing down on you in varying like degrees.
Okay.
What do you want to do? Or try
There's
to do?
something pushing down on me. Well, if something's pushing down on me, I'm gonna try to get out from underneath with any tools at my disposal.
Yeah. So you feel like it's really hard to like tell. Like you're feeling your movements are very strange, almost like you're restrained by something. Like the thing that's pushing you down is covering all of you, and now your body just feels super weird. But go ahead and make. Let's do an athletics check
Sure.
or a strength save. They might be different.
Either or. That's the athletics check. Do you want me to do a save instead?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You just can't quite seem to move, and then there like a little crack of light appears off to your left, and it's really distorted. Like your whole world vision has been like kind of altered for some reason. You can't figure it out, and then you see this like shoe lift up from you, and the world has just like changed shape. Everything is completely weird, distorted in aspect and ratio, and you just feel really flat.
Oh my god, I'm still alive. I turned into jam. I'm a jam person.
Decim, as the Harlequin's foot comes up, you see this flattened green
Jelly.
goop that like has Pracha's sword laying next to it, and like her armor is kind of like smushed down into it.
Oh God. He lets out a bellowing war cry. He's gonna get her sword.
Okay. When you let out this bellowing war cry, roll 4d6 for me.
46. Stand by. Mm, 16.
16. Excellent. So you yell out, and as you do so, the fire that's like been building in your gut just erupts in this line and like just lances out and strikes a Harlequin, who rapidly begins to burn. Like its clown suit catches on fire. And you said 16, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then you run under its shoe and grab her sword, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you want to
do
do
I-
with that sword?
How far away from me is its foot?
It's not within your reach, but it looks like it might be coming back down pretty soon.
But the other foot is down, right?
It currently is, yep.
How far is that foot?
You could make it.
Yeah, I'm going to scurry on up on there.
Oh, you're going to climb up onto it? Do an athletics check.
Super good at this.
Right. You've got a minus 1.
Oh, well, that's 16 is a 15 then.
15. So you're able to like run over, and because the cloth instead of leather, the shoes, there's like enough like little handholds for you to like grab and pull up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Braca, you're like almost there as you see this like goop where Pracha was, and you see Decim run over to the other shoe with like wielding Pracha's sword. I feel like you saw the flash of light of the fire, but probably not the fire itself. No, his foot was lifted. You totally saw the rat guy breathe fire on the Harlequin.
Still totally a
Okay.
paladin. Corion has got a fire as well.
Yep. So yeah, the magic is weird. Did I see any sense of how it is that the Harlequin reacted?
It's kind of like beginning to react to being on fire right now. It does not seem pleased about being on fire.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and scramble over to Pracha and try to pull her current form out.
Do you have a spatula with you?
Yeah, you might need like a bucket.
I mean, yeah, hold on a minute. And then I'm gonna need tools for this.
So you run over and you look down, and Pracha's form is still like recognizable, and in fact it blinks at you, but it is very flat. What kind of tools do you think you have that might help you?
Well, I don't have a mop anymore because I took the mop head off to use it as a weapon. I'm not sure if carpentry tools would necessarily have a spatula with them.
I can't think of any carpentry tools that would have a spatula. Like, you might have some carving tools that have a flat edge that's smaller than a spatula, but essentially you could like kind of scrape up.
Yeah, I could see having some of those in the tinker's tools.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and scoop up Pracha and take some evasive maneuvers and get out of there.
Okay. So as you're scraping her up, her form is definitely much more like putty or some kind of like malleable substance rather than having like actually been squished and all of her goop went everywhere. And you managed to like kind of fold her up into this form and start running off.
That's all right. I can fix her.
Captain, what are you doing?
So I see Braca pick up the putty
Yeah.
and go in a direction.
That is a good question. Which direction are you running, Braca?
I'm gonna try and go under the funhouse steps, which seems to be the safest place to, at the very least, get Pracha to relative safety.
Sure. So yeah, Captain, he comes running back towards you, carrying this like strangely shaped bundle that seems Pracha colored.
Right. But I think I'm gonna follow in the ways of the Decim, screaming random things and going back to like the eye poking and distraction with the mage hand to like maybe run some interference until like they get back in underneath the thing.
Gotcha. All right, so do a. First, I'm going to have him do a save. Your mage hand like kind of does the because he's still like trying to rub his eyes clear. Doesn't do any damage, but
Right.
he kind of like begins shouting and is flailing around. Needs you to make a dex save.
You can do
And
that.
Decim also make a dex save. And Decim, your bonus is +1.
14. That's with the bonus.
14?
Yeah, that's with the bonus.
Okay, perfect. So the Harlequin begins like stomping violently, like it's more like dancing around, like trying to get its eyes clear, and it's on fire, and so it's like just flailing. You both manage to dodge out of the way of its sorry, Captain manages to dodge out of the way of its feet, and Decim manages to like just hang on as it's like as he's being kind of tossed around. Let's see. Let's come back to Pracha. So, completely strange sensation being flattened and then essentially folded up like unbaked dough around your armor. Like part of you is still like in your armor, and he essentially just folded your arms up and folded your legs up and everything so that he could carry you in a bundle. I don't really know what to ask you want to do, but I'm going to ask it because who knows?
Can I make a noise?
Sure.
Sure. I make, I guess, whatever goopy noise I can make to signal I'm still alive. And it may not come out as words.
Yeah.
But
would you try to say words, or would you try to just make a grunt or something?
I would try to say I'm alive, but failing that, I would just grunt or gurgle or whatever.
So Braca, you notice like a bit of like clear drooly fluid comes like leaking out of the bundle as you hear but in a higher pitch. It doesn't really sound like Pracha's voice either. Maybe if her voice was like smushed, like when you have a balloon and you're squeezing, like you're letting the air out.
But Braca's relatively insightful. Can he guess that this is a living being who is trying to communicate?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a noise that you would associate to a bundle of goop making naturally. So
Okay.
like if this was a smashed body, for example, there's no natural reason it would make this noise. It definitely sounds intentional.
Okay. Because yeah, Brock is not that bright, but he understands that goop doesn't make noises like this normally. So,
okay, we will come back. Decim, you were hanging on to this canvas shoe.
Yes. Can I stab it with the sword?
You can sure try. Make an attack. Just roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
A 16.
A 16. Despite the sword being very heavy for you and unwieldy, it's more of like the fact that the Harlequin's like thrashing around, and so its movement actually helps you to jam the sword down into the shoe. It tears a little hole in the canvas, and a bit of this kind of like green. These are in separate color schemes, so it's not like we're going for one color here. Some like green and yellow and red and blue rainbow style goop come shooting out.
Oh. Then I will yell at it. I will yell up at the Harlequin and tell it that it shall be its blight shall be purged from these lands.
Excellent.
For the glory of, for the glory.
And Decim, I have the answer to the question. Your passive is 11. All right. That's what you see. Braca, what do you want to do with the bundle of Pracha?
Tell Pracha, I'm taking you to safety. Relative safety.
Relative safety.
And, yeah, trying to not make that much noise as I head to the relative safety.
Okay, so you run back under the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
The two men are still under there, and the younger one that you couldn't really tell what they did or whatever, eyes the bundle in the like most horrified way.
She's still alive. We can help her. We can fix her. Eventually.
Eventually. Anything else you want to do?
Well, if can you keep watch over? I'm going to ask them. Can you keep watch over her while I try and help the rest of my friends?
The blacksmith will nod, and he holds his hands out to take the bundle.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna head back out there with some more rocks. I'm assuming that, well, the Harlequin's a big creature, relatively speaking. I might be able to hit the broadside of the barn. Throw a rock at it.
Sure.
I'm too close. I'm too close to the bridge, so or to the underpass will give away our position. So I'll throw another rock at the gong.
Okay, go ahead and check that again. Make your attack.
Next turn, I'll chuck him at him.
Nice. Soundly ring that gong again. You don't notice any change in the attitude of the Harlequin, mostly because he's on fire and blind, and he's just like stumbling and thrashing about.
Well, what I'm hoping is that because he's blind and stumbling about, that he might be even more distracted.
Yeah.
Because there's suddenly noise coming from another place. Like, maybe that's where the attackers are coming from.
Absolutely. Excellent. Captain, what are you doing?
Is the door to the funhouse still open?
It is. Comparatively, it is quite a ways away, though. Like, you are very, very small right at the moment. It would take you a few rounds to get there. But
is there anything interesting that I can see from like 1 centimeter off the ground in this funhouse?
Not really. No.
Okay.
You're definitely not seeing the forest for the trees at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then we'll continue what we're doing. We'll continue the Three Stooges to support our native paladin.
Okay.
Doing paladin things.
So you tell me what the hand does this time. The Harlequin still seems blinded.
Decim is around the feet, correct?
Correct.
So then I want the hand to go like behind and grab the like hat and try to pull the hat off.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. It plops the hat off, and like this big bush of weird multicolored hair comes springing out. In fact, when it stops, it's shaped like the Harlequin hat. Almost like that hair was like stuffed into those spaces for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Can I do some kind of check to see if I can figure out what type of creature this is with the rainbow goop and...
Yeah, absolutely. Do an Arcana check.
Are you an arcane type of person? I don't know if you are. Oh, 16.
With the 16, I'm going to give you, it is not a person, definitely something very unnatural, but you can't, I mean, even like the weirdest Titan spawn that you have heard of doesn't sound like this.
Okay, that could be good or bad. I'm not sure which one yet, but it's a thing. So we'll just keep running interference then.
Okay. Pracha, what do you do?
That's a good question. I have a new ooze body. Can I ooze? like ooze forward?
Like try to move? Sure,
Yeah.
go ahead and do an athletics check.
Cool. Just gonna test that out. Oozing.
So you manage to kind of like unfold yourself, but it's very difficult. Like you're just having a heck of a hard time controlling anything. Like there is no muscle recognition going on. It's more like you try and move and this arm unrolls and just kind of like flaps out over here.
Okay. All right. I'll get better with practice. This is fine.
Love it. Decim, what are you doing?
Desm at this point is drunk with power. Do I still feel that burning sensation?
No.
No. And how deep is the sword in his foot?
That's kind of hard to tell, but from the size difference between you and him, not very. It was probably just a very minor poke. Almost like having a toothpick stuck into you.
Well, he's on fire. Stabbed him, and I think I've gotten enough vengeance here. But I'm going to drink another potion.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d10.
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll get a better grapple hold.
Trying to think of how to explain what you feel like. This surge of power goes through you, like physical power, like you can feel your muscles kind of like strain against your body, and you just feel this like ripple of energy. Make an athletics at advantage.
At advantage. Both are 10.
So you just like glom onto this shoe and you grab it so hard that it actually like folds some of the canvas underneath you. That was like way easier than you feel like it should have been.
Desm is definitely drunk with power now. And he is cackling madly.
Excellent. So, Braca, as you're running out, and you can see Captain Morgan like moving this mage hand around, and you see Decim just like grabbed onto the shoe of the Harlequin. The ground was shaking because of the Harlequin stomping anyway, but it begins to shake even more, and beyond the Harlequin, you can see that really large pink lizard, and you hear as it runs towards you, not towards you, but in your direction, and it just like reaches down with its mouth and not completely encloses the Harlequin within its mouth, but like chomps down on it and begins to shake it like a dog shakes a toy. Decim, make a strength save.
Is that an advantage?
Yeah, you can do an advantage.
12.
12. You actually managed to hang on to the Harlequin shoe as you're like being flipped around in the air. So Braca, what do you do?
So the pink lizard is bigger than the Harlequin, dealing with the Harlequin.
It is, yeah.
Is there any part of the Harlequin that seems like it would be trying to strike against the lizard?
Oh, gotcha. So you don't see anything except for maybe mid-calf down to the shoes, as most of it has been chomped on by this pink lizard.
Yeah,
You
because
also
I'm
do see like a good amount of rainbow liquid kind of oozing out from around its mouth. You don't see anything that you think is the Harlequin's body that can hit
ah
the lizard.
because I'm trying to I was kind of picturing the Harlequin just kind of like kicking wildly as it's being lifted around a little bit,
Yeah.
and I was trying to think, try to look around where the Harlequin may be kicking and throw a rock at the pink lizard at that spot to make the pink lizard really focus on finishing off the Harlequin.
Totally. Go ahead and roll an attack. It's like you just keep rolling the same number.
When I was
you
DMing,
wing it at it, and just as like its shoe flips up, it smacks the lizard essentially in the eye. Just enrages the lizard even more.
then try and run if I can to break line of sight.
Do you want to run back under the ramp or like
Yes.
off in a... Okay, so you head back. Captain,
Mhm.
what do you do?
So the captain has decided that we have mistreated this poor lizard. And clearly this is just the goodest lizard to ever exist. So I'm going to help the lizard, or attempt to, and take my mage hand and kind of like shove. Wait, no, there's Decim there. I'm going to put the mage hand so Decim can, if he wants to, jump. He probably won't, but there's an option.
So,
Mhm.
so technically your
The
mage hand
paladin gets
is
to see.
in the mouth. I guess how?
Oh, it's-
So it would have been in the mouth when it grabbed the Harlequin. Then it like
Right.
reared up. So maybe it is free of the mouth, like it went bloop as.
Okay.
So you wanted to go
Oh.
after what?
I mean, does it look like the goodest lizard needs help finishing off the Harlequin?
No,
No,
not so
yeah.
much.
Then we're gonna do some scritches behind the air, or whatever constitutes the air, on a massive like squeaking lizard. Like, good job.
Okay,
And just kind of hang out until Decim makes it to the ground.
excellent. Pracha, I think.
Yes.
So you can hear like, and the sounds are all distorted. You can hear this like crazy cacophony of sounds, crashing, screaming, the squeak.
Okay.
What do you want to try and do?
Gonna try to ooze. Or even like, I don't know. It would be nice to be 3-dimensional again at some point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to take in a deep breath to see if I can inflate myself somewhat.
Gotcha.
Weird flap.
Do an athletics check. Actually, do a con check.
A con check. All right. Just a check, not a saving throw.
You can do saving throw.
Okay.
Ew. Ew.
I am rolling so
Yeah.
low.
So you probably couldn't make him out, but the guy who's the blacksmith that's holding you jumps back and lets you go, because essentially, your arm has flopped out, and now there's like these weird ripples as you're trying to like inflate yourself, and he's just like, I don't want any part of that. So you like fall to the ground, and part of you unrolls, and you're like, your head's kind of twisted at a weird angle, and you can see this, like, to you he seems really tall and kind of distorted man wearing a blacksmith apron, and behind him is this like younger boy that is just like eyeing you with shock, a little bit of horror, but a little bit of that's cool at the same time. But you don't manage to inflate yourself.
Okay. I'm going to, in that case, I'll just gurgle out, sorry, which probably sounds like.
Yeah.
But
you might hear you hear a shriek, but you're not really totally sure if it came from the blacksmith, or the younger kid?
Okay.
Decim, what are you doing?
So I just feel like really strong, right?
You do.
Like mouse health.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a big squeaky thing up there eating its head.
Yeah, it's really hard for you to kind of like make out what it is from the angle that you're at, but you do see this gigantic pink mass, kind of almost directly over you, that has enveloped the Harlequin and has been shaking it around, and there's been this shower of rainbow goop kind of flying everywhere.
Well, if there's one thing I learned in the swamp, it's that when the creature that is trying to eat you is then being eaten by another creature, that is the perfect time to no longer be anywhere near the two of them. This is the law of the swamp. And so I will take this opportunity to flee.
I lost you at the end there. Take this opportunity to do what?
To flee.
To flee. So you want to let go and run off, essentially?
Yes.
Just make me roll a d20. We're going to do a dex check for your landing.
17.
17, nice. So you're kind of timing it, and right at the like height of this kick, you stop moving, and so you like jump off, and you manage to land like more on all fours than on your feet.
Yeah.
Which direction do you want to run?
Which direction am I facing?
That is a good question. Let's roll randomly. You're actually facing that gong.
The gong?
Yeah, the gong that Braca was throwing rocks at.
That is the direction I'm running.
Excellent. So you scramble off, Captain. You see him fly off and he runs off essentially to your left. Braca.
So Decim's just running in a random.
Yeah, it looks like he like either got kicked off because he kind of like came off on the height of the flailing, or he jumped off because he sure did land pretty darn nimbly, and then he just like booked it in the direction that he was facing. It's almost like he landed and was already propelling that direction.
Well, Decim, as we have all established, is a paladin of urban survival. I'm sure that's a deity
Right.
here. So I'm gonna look at Pracha and just start taking a look, not making any more physical interaction, just taking a look to see if there's anything that I can do to help. Because I'm afraid of breaking Pracha.
Yeah. So when you get back under there, she's laying on the ground. The blacksmith dropped her. She's like kind of laying in a pile where like her head's unfolded and it's kind of like bent up so you see one eye pointing towards the blacksmith. An arm is unrolled this way. This arm is kind of crumpled up underneath her, and then her legs are like more like on top and just collapse down on her. What do you tell me how you would try and figure out what's wrong with, or how to fix her?
At this point, it seems like there's been at least some movement, so I'm going to slowly and carefully observe and try and be very patient as opposed to Braca's normal, oh, I've got to fix it, rush right away, and well, usually that doesn't work, and sometimes it does.
Totally. Okay. Let's do... I feel like a medicine check isn't quite the right thing to do here, but... Are you proficient in medicine?
Nope.
Excellent. Just make a wisdom check. You and your dice today.
I know. I'm afraid.
Right? So, if you only had like some kind of way to inflate her.
Do I get a feeling that all the hot air that I normally produce would be enough, or am I going to have to look for a pump?
It potentially could be, but it's really like the delivery method. Like you feel like you could expel enough air to begin the process, but like her mouth and her head are kind of like a little misshapen, and you're not really sure. Like a bellows, for example, might be easier. You're really not sure though.
A bellows, you say? Turns to the blacksmith. You know where we can find a bellows that's our size?
He's staring down at Pracha's form, and he looks up at you and then back down at her. I know where there's a bellows, but not one that's our size.
Well, then I guess we've got a big problem.
Or a little one. But Captain, what are you doing?
I know that was easy.
How far is Decim from me?
So Decim kind of took off in another direction. You could probably run and catch him this turn, if that is your intent.
Yeah. I'll do that. The mage hand will keep the scritching going, encouraging the consumption of the harlequin.
Okay.
And then I'll grab Decim and try to get this to go in the direction of his friends. I don't know if Captain Morgan has noticed Decim refer to them as the Masters. If he did, he will definitely invoke that now.
Gotcha. What is your passive perception?
What is your? Are you perceptive? You are. Oh, you are kind of perceptive. 14.
14. So you hear this like kind of ripping noise as you're running that way, and you glance over, and it looks like the large pink squeaky lizard has torn the top of the harlequin off, and there are just feet and legs. But the weird part is the legs begin running.
Knew it.
Back towards the fun house.
Can I change my scritching action?
Oh yeah, sure.
I don't know how many pounds it takes to stop legs that aren't connected to anything, but I would like to try to push one of those legs down.
Gotcha.
Because I don't want those legs to go back into the funhouse.
Let's do a save for it. Your DC is 13?
13.
So your hand kind of rushes over and tries to swipe while tripping it, essentially, like trying to block and swipe at the same time. It just doesn't seem to have enough force behind it to stop the running legs.
That's fair. Okay. But yeah, we'll continue on with the Decim and be like, hey, you know your friends are underneath. They're actually where your friends are, where those legs are going. You should go help them.
And Decim, you hear this as the captain comes running up with you.
Okay. All right.
Pracha, you've heard, and you pretty much understand what's going on. Something about Braca wanting a bellows. The words were very like odd and kind of hollow sounding in one ear, but your other ear is just producing this like constant squeaking noise. But you got the gist of it. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to blow myself up again.
Okay, make another con save.
Con. There you are.
Better. Nice. So, Braca, this like, it's that same squeaking with the balloon, but it's almost as if it was being pulled into the balloon instead of being expelled out of it. And you notice that Pracha's body just kind of like flutters and her legs flip out, and you can now see her like kind of normal form as it's like starting to refill with air. Doesn't totally fill up, but she's not as flat. Like one eye is still like much bigger than the other, which is kind of squished. She's still a little. It's like 2.5D instead of 2D or 3D. And I think that brings us to Decim.
Desmond will look over his shoulder. Sees the captain.
Yeah.
The captain mentions that he points at the running legs. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, without a second thought, he's going to go after those legs.
Okay. So you turn to start booking it. You reach the legs on the end of your turn, essentially. You have to dash to get to them.
Okay, yep.
Okay. Braca.
All right. So do I get a feeling now that, at least as a short-term thing, that blowing into Pracha's lung, trying to provide some more air would help?
You could try, definitely.
And
she's a little bit more normally shaped now, so it would be much easier for you to do.
Excellent.
Okay. Do a Actually, we'll do it this way. Pracha, do a con save at advantage.
Hey.
Much better. With this like kind of latexy leather rubbing against each other pop, her form springs back to its normal self, and she like gasps, like pulls in this huge lung of air. Pracha, there's a bit of like horse drool mixed in with it, but I mean it worked.
Yeah, I'm 3D again, so
I feel like it'd be a
Good
little
job.
difficult for a horse's mouth to like form without creating some kind of
Yeah, but well, I told you I'd fix you.
He was not lying.
no, he was a horse.
But
He was not lying.
Chaz is so happy about that one.
He really is.
So, Captain,
Lion was my other character idea.
nice. You see Decim booking it for the legs. What do you do?
How is my pet lizard doing?
As you look over, essentially it looks like it's chewing, but there's just like gouts of rainbow fluids squeezing out of it, and every time that happens, there is like a little.
Can I tell? It's like a happy, like a satisfied meal. Like
It seems to be, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna leave my pet lizard to that, and I'm just gonna follow.
Follow Decim.
Yeah.
Okay. So you book it. Are you running at the legs or at the under ramp area? Decim's running for the legs.
I think I will once again try to swipe at the legs.
Sure.
Because I have a feeling if those legs get in like 5 minutes later, it's coming back out.
Same kind of thing where it just doesn't seem like it has enough force to push it
Yeah.
over.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to slow it down at all.
Gotcha.
But you're gonna.
Yeah. I'll run to the legs then.
Okay. So, Pracha.
Yes.
You feel something akin to sore in the
Yeah.
way that like maybe you were like working out real hard yesterday and today you're just like, ow. But you feel like you're pretty.
I feel like
Yeah.
most of myself again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know what this means? This means and I look at Bracco as I do this, and the blacksmith and the kid, who's probably traumatized for life. You know what this means, though, right?
They
This
just
means
stare at you.
All the goop piles are still alive, and we can potentially blow them up.
The blacksmith's looking from you out to the goop piles, and you can't tell whether that's a sign, like a look of relief or horror, because I feel like it'd be somewhere in between.
So we could save them, and I look out. Is the clown still out there?
You don't see it.
What, Bracco? What happened with the clown?
Remember the pink lizard?
Yes, the one I scared away? Yeah.
Came back and ate the clown.
That's fine.
As in, it's still out there.
Okay, so maybe we blow people up later. Maybe. Are there any goop piles actually near our little hideout?
Odd or even?
Even.
Even. So not the direction you came from. Like, there are some over there, but they're quite a ways away. But
Yeah.
near the ramp itself, on the other side, you do spot a couple, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna see about getting a goop pile into our area to experiment and
Sure.
see if we're correct.
It's like you run out, and what's your passive perception?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's something like 10 or not high. Yeah, like 10.
Okay. So as you run out, you see these forms laying there, and having been one and like having experienced Braca essentially like peeling you up, you manage to peel up one of them and begin heading back.
Okay.
Decim.
I have been pointed in the direction of these legs, and I guess I have to vanquish them. I suppose vengeance is a word, I think, that describes this action. So I'm going to hurl one of the bottles of liquid at the legs.
Gotcha. Go ahead and just roll a d20 for me.
Am I still like Beefcake Mouse?
You are.
Right, perfect. Red.
Do you say crit?
Yeah.
Nice. So you throw it, and it just like it actually whistles. You throw it so fast, and it smashes against the leg, and you see this like blue liquid draining down the pants, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
I look back over at the captain and flash a grin.
The captain thumbs up you.
Okay, all right. I will continue to pursue these legs.
Okay. So Braca, you hear this thundering booming as something smashes against the ramp above you, like repeatedly, kind of like footsteps. You don't see the clown, and you can just like maybe every so often catch sight of the lizard as it's like moving around outside, but you don't see anybody else. What do you do?
So I assume I'd like take a step out to see what on earth is going on, possibly look for some goop, and I'd see, wait, there are these legs that are right above me, basically.
It's true.
Would I be? I'm like, oh, and would the legs be in reach to try and hit?
Not really. So one, they have total cover from the ramp itself, but the ramp is higher than your head.
I'm going out from under the ramp.
Gotcha.
To actually see anything.
So you could like run out and jump up on the ramp and chase after them if you would like to try and interact with them physically. Yeah, you could do that.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay. And what's your physical interaction?
Well, it seems like we've got a little mess here, so I'm gonna try and clean it up. As in, hit it.
Okay, go for it. Uh-oh. All those above 20s you just rolled?
Oof.
Made up for that. So as you you run up and you grab your now quarterstaff but your previous mop, and you go to like clean up this guy's act, a big glob of that rainbow goop flies down and just takes you out. Like you're not prone, but you are kind of suspended in this glop of goop.
He just got slimed like
He
on
just got
Nickelodeon.
slimed, yeah.
Since I have a bonus action,
Yeah.
and my bonus action would have been to punch the leg, can I rage punch the goop? I don't know if it's going to do anything, but it feels appropriate.
Yeah, you could either try to like make one last swipe at the legs at disadvantage, or you can angrily smash at the goop that's encapsulating you.
Oh, yeah, Braca. Braca's gonna try to do the heroic thing and punch the leg at disadvantage.
Sure. Jeez.
Okay.
So in your anger, you just lash out and punch it. Do. It seems to kind of like stumble a bit as you do, but continues on. Anything else?
I assume I'm not moving that much because I'm gooped.
Yeah.
So, no.
Okay. Captain.
Is it inside of the funhouse yet?
No, it looks like it'll reach there next turn.
Is there like a door with a knob?
No.
No.
Not that you can see, I should say that.
Gotcha. All right. I guess I will. If I can't like close the door, I'll like stab it with whatever stabbing implement I have. I don't remember which one. It's either a trident or a rapier.
You have the rapier because the trident was lost, and you have
Okay.
Mielo's rapier.
It
So
was
go ahead
lost.
and roll that attack.
It's still.
Excellent. So you managed to stab into the shoe. It kind of tears some of the canvas, and a spray of that goop comes out. Anything else?
No, I think that's all I can do, really.
Okay. Pracha.
Yes.
So you like football rush this thing that is probably a person back under the ramp?
Yep.
Okay. Then what?
Yeah. God, do we have like a tube of some kind is the question. Braca. Oh, Braca's not
Braca
there
has
anymore.
disappeared, yeah.
He ran out.
Goop.
I'm gonna look at the blacksmith. I was and say, do you have any like tube like object? Could be anything, like a pipe or a tool of some kind for glass blowing or anything like that.
When you say pipe, he holds up his finger and he reaches back in a pouch and he pulls out a smoking pipe.
We can. That might work. Actually, is it like all one piece, or is it the sort like for cleaning you can take out the front end and then
The stem itself is all one piece. It looks like there is a like the bowl is a separate piece.
the bowl. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect. Could I borrow your pipe?
Sure. I don't
All
know
right.
why you want to smoke right now, but
I'm
I'm
gonna take
never
the
one to like really turn down a good smoke.
take the bowl off and give it back to him.
He eyes it curiously as he takes it.
Take the tube, and then I'm gonna stick it in the person's mouth on the ground.
Oh my God! What are you? Don't put.
And then I'm gonna try to blow it up.
Sure. Roll a d20 at advantage for me.
Okay.
Perfectly good pipe. Why would you do that?
Okay, that's first one, and then there's the second one. So
Nice.
19.
So you take in a big breath of air and breathe in through the pipe stem.
Yep.
So you do hear like as you're trying to like kind of push this person's mouth together in a way that is around the pipe stem, like some air is escaping, but all of a sudden their body like begins to inflate and their eyes like widened in surprise, and it seems like as you're blowing this woman up, she's kind of an elderly lady and smells of cinnamon buns for some reason.
Oh,
And there's this like boomf noise as she finishes returning to her normal shape.
wonderful. All right. I'm gonna look at the blacksmith. I was like, we can get you a new pipe after all this is over, but it's very important to blow up all of your fellow townspeople. I assume you know her. It's not
Yeah.
a big town.
Yeah, and he reaches down. He's like, Agatha, are you okay? And he helps her to her feet. That wave of like cinnamon comes with her as she stands up. Decim, what are you doing?
Do I see that Brockhog got hit by that loop?
What's your passive? Never mind, I have access to that.
It's
Bah, bah,
11.
bah, yeah. No.
No. Well then, got the thumbs up from the captain. I obviously am doing this correctly. Going
Obviously.
after the leg.
Okay.
Those legs are gonna get it. Still drunk on power, still beefcake mouse. I'm gonna go attack those legs.
Okay. Roll a d20 for me.
Ooh, yeah, 5.
A 5. So you run forward, and it's probably because they're outpacing you at this point. You like lunge forward to try and grab it, and you even close your eyes as you do because you're just like trying so hard. And then when you stop, you're just holding air,
Oh no.
and it looks
Look
like
back
the
over at
legs
the captain.
are essentially almost into the doorway.
Look back at the captain. Yep. Okay. Yes. I will continue charging forward.
Okay. Braca.
Are the legs still there?
They are. They've definitely outpaced you, and they've now left Decim in the dust, so to speak. And you can use part of your movement just to step out of the glob. It's not going to be a check or anything.
Then I'm going to step out of the glob. How close can I get to the legs?
You can't catch up with them if you dash. You can get closer to them, but you wouldn't be able to like make a melee attack or anything like that.
Okay, then. But they're just going to keep outpacing me.
Yeah, at this point,
So
they're definitely moving faster than you are.
so that means it's time to move as far as I can and then chuck one last lucky rock.
Sure. Chuck away. Not as lucky as your previous ones. The rock does kind of ping off of the clothing around the legs. Doesn't seem to do anything though.
All right. So, yep. I think the leg's going to get away.
Captain.
Yeah, I'm charging in the funhouse.
Okay. So the legs will get there before you. Like you're pretty far behind. And so you start dashing, and essentially you and Decim and Braca are all in about the same area as the legs cross that threshold, if that makes sense. You'll be able to all kind of run in together on your next turn. Is there anything besides running that you have in mind?
I don't think there's anything I can actually. Yeah, that's it. Wait, if I cunning action dash, can I also action dash?
I don't think so, but let me double check the wording on something.
My instinct is to throw the rapier, but that seems like a bad idea.
Do. They are both bonus actions.
Dashing?
Action surge and cunning action, or both.
No. It was
But
an
if I-
action surge. It was
Oh, I
can you
misunderstood.
main action dash, bonus action dash. And
Right.
my understanding was always yes.
Sorry, I totally I thought you were doing something completely different. Yes, yes, you can do that.
Yeah, then let's do that. Like running as much as we have to get up in there
Yeah.
with the things.
So you'll pretty much pass the threshold right after the legs, as
Yeah.
opposed to Braca and Decim, who are now a bit behind you, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's
for the
fine.
confusion.
No.
I'm paying attention, really. All right. So, Pracha, everyone else has disappeared. You're not totally sure where they went. Like, you did see Braca jump up and run after it, but you hadn't seen the captain or Decim in a bit. You have reinflated this woman.
Yep.
What
All
would you
right.
like to do?
I'm going to hand the tube to the blacksmith. I'm going to say, look, I'm going out there to find the rest of my employees, but if you can keep dragging people in there when it's safe and inflating them with this thing, you'll soon have a small army in here, and then we'll be able to take on whatever's out there and possibly get back to regular size, okay?
He just kind of numbly nods, and as you run away, he's like, "Employees, what?" And you run out.
Yeah, I ran out.
So, do you want to go? Do you want to like look around the plaza, or are you going up the ramp? Which direction do you want to head?
Well, I'm gonna kind of scope it out and listen for any signs of their shenanigans.
Gotcha.
So I'll roll a perception as I kind of run out to try to get my bearings. Perception.
Okay, so you run out. I will grant you that you already know kind of where Braca is.
Okay.
But as you run out, essentially most of your vision is just taken up with the very, very large pink dinosaur lizard thing that is just contentedly like chewing and just staring off into space.
Okay. That's fine. I'm all right, that's I'm gonna guess I funhouse.
Okay, so yeah, you turn and start heading up the funhouse, and you do see, up there a ways, and you're so small that it does like seem quite a ways up there. You do see two little figures running, and then you see the funhouse door. You can see the tops of the legs, the pants, kind of like hanging over there, but you don't see the shoes from the angle that you're at.
I just see legs though.
Yeah, you just see like the legs from the Harlequins, like kind of running towards the funhouse.
No top.
No top.
It's gonna stop and appreciate that for a moment before I continue forward.
Okay. So Braca and Captain, we'll just have you guys kind of go. Sorry, no, Braca and Decim, because you two are running together. What do you both do? We'll start with Braca.
All right. I do a quick look around to see if I see Pracha.
Way back near the base of the ramp, you can see her.
All right. I motion over. We're chasing the legs. We're chasing the legs. And then I chase the legs.
Okay. And Decim, are you doing anything different?
Yeah, he bellows out in perfect Lydian. Bards pay attention. Sonnets don't write themselves. And charges forward.
Okay. So, at the end of your turn, Braca and Decim are essentially just following Captain Morgan through the door. And Captain, you see as the legs stomp through, and then they just like come to a dead stop, and it's almost like they sigh, like there's like this like swelling, and then just this relaxing, and they just fade away. What do you do, Captain?
Gonna walk to where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Feet. No legs.
Nope, nothing there.
Well, we're here, so I guess I'll also sigh.
Okay.
And then just start looking around for anything that may give us an idea of like how to not be like 2 inches tall anymore.
Gotcha. So looking like where you're standing, it looks like there are very large for your size hallways that go off to either side. Make a perception check.
This would be a great time to roll super well. 12.
12. With a 12, I'll say that you can see script that seems to be written like on the floor on either side, but it's so large and your angle is so poor you can't make out what it is from where you're at.
Mm-hmm. Any chance there's a mirror above this script?
You don't see any mirrors now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm out of ideas. I'm just gonna make sure my mage hand is still doing the scritches behind the ears of the pink dinosaur, and
so you look back out towards the dinosaur.
Yeah.
So you notice that like that trail of rainbow goop that has been left by the running legs, and like all of the goop that was falling out of the dinosaur's mouth and all that, it's just gone. And the dinosaur is kind of like standing there, like half chewing, like where did that go? And it's like making slight little like rubber against rubber squeaky noises.
Right.
But you scritch it.
Yeah, like good job. You did great.
And Brock, actually, sorry, Pracha, what are you doing? Oh, are you still there?
I'm catching up to, sorry. I'm muted because my dog's being noisy. I'm catching up to my friends. Okay. So whenever I do catch up, I'll kind of wave at them.
Okay. Let me ask this. Is anyone going to antagonize the squeaky dinosaur? Or are you going to leave it alone?
No.
My pet? No.
Okay. So we can go off an initiative and everyone gathers in that front hall of the fun house. What do you do?
I don't remember like carnivals when I spent a lot of time on land. I think I know why.
This is clearly magical in some fashion. Like this whole town's magical in some fashion. So I think we should try to look through this place and find kind of the source of it all. Because I don't think it's that clown. I think that clown is just a byproduct.
So you're
saying there's any chance one of the squished people is a wizard who can answer questions or otherwise? Well, even if they're not a wizard, one of them might be able to answer questions.
Well, I have been the blacksmith's blowing people up right now, so maybe we'll find somebody in a bit. Because we didn't question either the blacksmith or the kid with him, so which I assume is his apprentice or his son or just a hapless child. Anyway, but that's a good point. I mean, we could go back down and question them, or we could investigate further. What do you guys think? Where's Decim?
You're all together.
Oh, we're all together. Yep. Okay.
Desmond actually super relieved to see that you are actually not dead, and will return the sword.
Oh, thank you, Desum.
Apologize profusely for having taken it, and he did not intend to steal it, and he's very sorry.
No, you're Desum. I assume you did a great job. I mean, this is exactly what you should do if I am incapacitated in some way. Is if I can't use this for some reason, you can then use it and get revenge. That's good.
So, Pracha, while you're talking to Desum like this,
Yeah.
you just like in your mind you realize he is just swole right now. Like he's just like ripped for some reason. And like near the end of your talk, you start kind of slowing down your words as you're noticing this, and then he just deflates back to being his normal size.
Oh, Desmond, buddy, you were looking real good there for a minute.
Okay.
Desmond is sorry and will try to look better.
You're fine. You did a good job. I'm gonna put the sword away.
Okay.
With that said, what do you guys want to do? We can go talk to the townspeople. We can investigate this lovely space of horrors, or I don't know. What do you think?
We should probably talk to the.
I was just gonna ask: is this lovely space of horrors? It's sized for normal humans,
It
not
sure is.
little
Yeah.
folks like us, right?
And in the heat of battle, and all of your adrenaline was running, all of that stuff that you just did, like going as fast as you were and all that, it wasn't super taxing. But like now looking at it, you're like, I don't want to have to climb through this thing. I am going to be exhausted by the time I get halfway through the like hallway. It's huge, huge.
So what do you guys think?
We could talk to people, see if they have any ideas. Plus, I want to see if we cross out of the perimeter of the carnival, do we grow again?
Gotcha.
Ooh,
so you all want to head back down the ramp and find the people, and then potentially leave the carnival?
Yeah, or question them, and see if we can start inflating all of them.
Or Captain, do you want to go off on your own to find the edge of the carnival and see if it goes away?
Yeah, I'll go off on my own just to like see if it's a thing, and then we'll have that information, and then we can continue to like refill the people, and because I'm pretty sure like they don't want to be here.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's an assumption,
So Braca and Desum, what are you going down to talk to the people? Are you going with the captain, or do you have other plans?
I'll go talk to the people.
Okay.
Desum will obviously follow close behind the gentle masters.
Okay. So Pracha, the three of you walk down the ramp, and it seemed it was so much faster to get up that ramp than it is to come down. Like the experience of like trying to run up after and try and like make sure everyone's okay. There was just like so much rush to get up there, and now walking back down the ramp, it's like it's so far away. But you all get down to the bottom, and you notice that several other people have been inflated now. The dinosaur seems to have like walked off. It's now kind of back over where it was standing when you first saw it, and it's like looking off over the town. What do you three do?
All right, I'm gonna turn to the tiny townspeople. Hi, my name's Pracha. This is the captain. This is he's not there.
Yeah.
This is Braca and this is Desum. We just got here. Do any of you mind telling us the last things that happened to you before you got flattened like I did?
An old man with a cane shakes his cane in the air and he says, I got fucking flattened by some stupid clown. That's the last thing I remember.
Okay.
Yes. What happened? Do you remember what happened before you got flattened?
I was eating
how you
some
got
cotton
smaller.
candy.
Okay.
Hmm?
So
You
were
what?
you,
I was
You
eating
see-
some cotton candy. Oh, and then I shrunk down to be really tiny. And then a clown fucking stepped on me.
okay.
And a lot
So-
of the people are nodding like that's also similar to what they had happen.
So did you guys we noticed that there's a lot of weird things happening in your town. Were weird things happening in your town before the carnival got here, or was it when the carnival arrived?
So they will tell you that many different people will speak, and together you can kind of get the idea that sometime after the carnival arrived, weird happenings began, and they were fairly quick within maybe an hour of each other, where somebody's house turned into candy or like cake or something, or the pink dinosaur showed up. Like random, there was a puppet show that was going on, and the puppets all came to life and ran off into the town. No one has seen them since then. Just weird, random things have happened, but I mean, it's all been within maybe the last few hours.
Thus the Muppets were born. All right. Well, that tells me the source is the carnival. Is anybody here a wizard or a sorcerer, or know anything about magic?
They all kind of look around at each other. The blacksmith will say, "Well, Agatha's a sorceress with cinnamon buns. I'll tell you that." And there's like a chuckling and yeah, that's true. Yep, sure is. But you get the idea that no one here is a mage of any kind.
All right. Do you guys know? All right. Okay.
Were there any strange people who showed up with the carnival wearing robes? I guess is the traditional wear. I don't know, magic.
Gotcha. There's some general talk amongst them, and the blacksmith tells you they don't recall seeing anyone suspicious necessarily. Like there were the carnies that set up, and there were like that worked in the carnival that were selling the food and like hosting the game booths and stuff like that. There were a couple of centaurs giving the kids rides, but they didn't see anyone that seemed weirder than a typical carny seems.
Okay.
What do you mean weirder than a typical carny?
Well, I mean, not all of us work in a carnival, and they have to be very different-minded people to be willing to do so and travel around like that. We're just, good, wholesome fishing village people.
Hold on. Are you making inferences about people who go around from place to place? Because there are a lot of people who go from place to place just to survive who are very honorable. I don't know if that's the same with these carnies. I've never been to a carnival before.
It's true, yeah. Some are honorable. And then you have adventurers. They're just a bunch of murder hobos.
We like to call it forceful persuasion.
Oh, is that what you do?
I manage a shop. We're dipping our toes in the adventuring thing. It's not going well so far.
See, I mainly do repairs. I fixed Pracha and showed how to fix others.
Yeah, you did really well
by
with that.
inflation. I think Pracha was starting on her own, but
Yeah. I learned all about inflation when I went to some mercantile classes before.
Oh, well, if I would have known you knew
Yep.
about inflation, I would have given you advantage. But
oh yeah, that mercantile class, somehow they said it cost one thing, but then by the end of the class they said it would double my money, and well, I had no money afterwards. I also wrote this F next to my name.
Destin, what are you doing while they're having this conversation?
Well, I mean, Desmond's only catching every third or fourth word.
Yeah.
And so he's idly fidgeting with the stopper of another vial. It's kind of like it's on autopilot. It's not that he means to, but it's just there. And man, he really wants it. And he's just gonna, yep, he's gonna drink it.
Okay, roll a d10 for me.
It's like a potion holic.
Yep, that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
4.
A 4. Would you consider yourself a willing imbiber?
Yep.
Okay. So Pracha and Braca, Decim is now about a third the size of what he just was. And Decim, everything looks much, much bigger to you.
He will cackle madly with power.
Pracha and Braca, you hear this. Captain, so you are heading out and you're trying to find like what you would consider the boundary of the carnival. And so you walk for a ways and you notice where there essentially just stops being booths. There aren't any like roped off areas or whatever. And you cross that boundary, but nothing happens. You're still tiny.
So now I can either walk like the mile back
Right.
with my friends.
It's only
Or
like
walk.
200 feet, but for you, it's like a couple miles.
Or like the half a mile to my new pet. Which might eat me, but also might not. Okay, I don't know how long my mage hand is there, but I'm going to keep the scritching going and start the mile trek back.
Does it last for a minute or 10 minutes?
Probably 1 minute. It's just a cantrip.
Yeah, it would have disappeared by now.
Okay, resummon it, scritches, and then walk back.
Okay. So after a while, the captain returns to the group under the ramp. Captain, there's definitely more people than there were. Although on your walk back, you definitely passed by a couple of flat people.
I'll grab one.
Sure. So you managed
like,
to like peel them up, and you walk back, and so Pracha, he's got a blob
Flat.
with him.
All right. I look at the blacksmith. I look at the blob. I look at the blacksmith again. I look at it again.
So he leans down and puts the pipe in the mouth and blows them up, and this like fairly attractive woman, it's probably in her late 30s, which is about the age of the blacksmith, like inflates, and you see the blacksmith just like blush really hard. He's like, oh, it's you. I'm so glad I could help. And he like is obviously very not embarrassed but bashful around this woman. What are you all doing now?
I'm going to say out loud, very inconspicuously, I didn't know you were married there, blacksmith.
I'm not married. What are you talking about?
I will say though, actually, Mr. Blacksmith, what's your actual name?
Arlen. Arlen is my name.
Arlen, you've been such a hero and such a great job blowing up all of these people again and figuring that out. You truly are the real hero here. Miss, he was like risking life and limb as he dragged these people in and as he blew them up and saved all these people. And it took so long to figure all this out. It took until he saw I like self-inflated a little bit, and then he was able to actually do it for everybody else. Isn't that amazing?
So while you're talking about this, like you can see his already like fairly impressive sized chest just kind of like swells up as he straightens, and he just looks like very proud, and she just kind of like winks at him, and there's like obviously this like chemistry going on between them, and she says, "Yes, that's very heroic," and she kind of like touches him on the shoulder. Bracha, you can have inspiration. So
All right.
we're getting close to the end of the game, and I feel like the next part is going to take a little longer. So why don't we call it for this week?
Sure.
We'll do our outros, and then next week we will pick up Under the Ramp. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Braca would definitely be giving that pair some space. It's like, I've got to go check to see if there's anything that could make us big again.
Yeah, nice. Oh, and the dog barked just in time for you to not have to roll a die. All right. Well, Braca, let's start with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us all the things we need to know.
All right. My name is Noah Grand, and I play Braca Blue, and my internet worked well enough today that I could have the video on the entire time, which is rare. This is the normal quality that my lovely camera gets. But, if you want to, among other things, see me with a better camera, you can go look for some of my stuff on DM's Guild. And, the collaborations that I was a part of are getting wonderful reviews, so you should definitely check them out.
Nice. And
you can also find me on Twitter at Noah Grant.
Perfect. What is your latest release?
So I had 3 things that all came out within a day of each other.
Oh, wow.
Just in time for the Play It Forward event where creators got all of the funds from the DM's Guild.
Which was amazing of them. Thank you, DM's Guild.
Yes.
Nice. Well, I will post links to your entire listing on the show notes. Decim, your turn.
I am Desm, also known as John. I'm a nerd. I like to play D&D.
Hooray, go nerds!
Find me at Instagram at Destilosaurus Rex.
Yay!
Showcase my and...
Excellent. And Pracha.
Huzzah.
Yay! Pracha, tell us all about yourself.
Hello, I play Pracha. My actual name is Catie. You can find me at Catie Griffin Writer on Facebook or on my website, www.mostimprobable.com. I also want to give a shout out to a Kickstarter that's coming June 2nd that a few of my friends, acquaintances are kind of working on. It's called Legend Lore. It's being produced by Onyx. It's being produced by Onyx Path. I was one of the original backers, so I got the manuscript. So I've been running it just for a couple friends privately.
Nice.
And it is awesome.
It is so
give some love to that Kickstarter. They canceled it due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
And so they're going to, now that things have, are starting to slowly reopen again, they're going to try the Kickstarter again.
Yeah.
So send some love their way.
And it's a ton of fun. I also was an original backer, and I'm going to be part on June 9th. They're going to be doing, Onyx Path is doing a short campaign, so it's going to be from June 9th through the end of the month on Tuesdays, I think at 8 p.m. Central. I'll post about this later when I'm sure, but it's going to be a Legend Lore, but it's going to be a little twist on it, so we all get to play our characters from other games that are getting pulled into the realm rather than us. So Legend Lore is you as a person or a person from Earth is pulled into being a character in the realm. It is a lot of fun. If you've seen the D&D cartoon from the 80s,
I love it.
It's kind of based on that. I don't want to say it is that, but it's that.
Yeah. It's been hilarious so
That's
far.
awesome.
Like just because you can make modern day references in the D&D universe, and it's really a fun game.
Yeah. And Catie, you had you have another thing going on your Twitch channel, right?
I do. I'm running Dystopia Rising Evolution, which is a new game that has been put out by Onyx Path Publishing that I helped write on. And I'm running it for a few of my friends every other Wednesday. So my next time I'm running it is June 3rd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
Nice.
you can watch me on twitch.tv/see the Griffin. And I'll run tabletop, and also I do a lot of Sea of Thieves.
Nice.
So.
And I will put that on the show notes as well. And last but absolutely not least, Captain Morrigan. Tell us all about yourself.
Hi, so I am Chaz, and I research storytelling and games and music and all those fun things. And I'm temporarily controlling Captain Morgan, the fun-loving captain who was just poking a little bit of fun at the heroic blacksmith, and who is like in love with that dinosaur. I don't know if you can tell.
No,
but, like,
not at all. Not at all.
there were a couple of times when I was like, I could just abandon them and like live my life with my happy dinosaur and be like ecstatic.
Just riding on its back. You're so small it doesn't know it, but you're just riding majestically on its back.
And I'll like pick it like coconuts and it can eat, and then I'll like help it like catch squirrels, and like we can have a whole life.
Nice. Awesome. And I guess I should introduce myself. I am Jeremy Hochhalter. I'm the Dungeon Master for this show, and then I play on Mondays on twitch.tv Plastic Age Plays, run by Travis Legg, who is the line developer for Scarred Lands. We play an ongoing campaign called Myths and Matchmakers. We're on season 2. It is a crazy, in his own words, shit show of a event. It's an interesting time. So Mondays at I think 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern. Stop by over there. I also host it on my channel. You can find me on Twitter at WHPubs or on Facebook, WH Publications. That's short for Wanderers Haven. You can go to WHpublications.com. I think that's all my things. Everybody have a great week. We will see you next Friday for some more Curiosity Cache. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, keep an eye out for episode 13 in the near future. You all have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.